everybody, welcome back to my channel. I personally want to say thank you so much for 200 subscribers. This video, I couldn't think of a better video to do for hitting 200 subscribers, and this video has been requested for a long time, and it just so happened I got some fence work done on it. I still have a few spots I still have to fix, but I got some fence work done on it right as I hit 200 subscribers. So I kind of feel like this was meant to be my 200 subscriber video. And I promised a long time ago that one of these days I would do a horseback version of a property tour. So you guys are going to ride along with me. You guys also wanted a barn tour. That'll be in another video because I'm going to try not to cut out hardly anything, if at all possible. And we're going to ride the 15 acres. And I'm going to keep in as much of the video as I can, so this might be a little bit of a longer video. So for the pastures that you guys typically see in my videos, I'm not going to do as much of a detail, but for the pastures that you guys haven't seen, we'll do a little bit more in detail. And the main reason I was waiting for this is because this hill behind me, you guys have seen me ride and work Kamani on it. We don't actually own that hill. Our neighbor does. He's just decided we could use it until he decided he needed it back. So he finally decided he needed it back, and he had to put a fence up. And so that's what I was waiting for, so that when I did this video, it would make a little bit more sense than having to imagine a fence being there. I still have some things to clean up on. I still have a couple posts to put in. Everything isn't completely done, but these two are now in my grandma's yard, starting to graze and starting to get ready to go out for the summer. Obviously, I'll still be riding them. And so I'm just going to open up the gate that I need to. We're going to hop on and we're going to get on with this video. Okay, so we are in one of the shelters right now. And this is, if you guys have seen a lot of my videos, this is the girls' main pasture. As you can see, it's pretty bare. So that's why they're not in it. We're trying to let it grow, and it's starting to sprout up. So this is their main pasture. Now this right here is their round pen. And then the pasture connected to it behind it is the pony's pen, and that goes all the way down where this blue bucket is to these posts right here. So we're going to go out into the big field, which Kamani's being a little jumpy. Probably because she can see the new fence and she's in the new wood pile, and she's like, that's not normal. So I'm going to gather up my reins a little bit there. So this is going to be the big field that they're going to go into first this year. We'll ride down this side. There's a fire. I'm not sure how far we're going to go down because of the fire. And one-handed. This is the back side. And there's a horse buried there. If you guys remember Azalea, the rescue mare. Because I had a few people message me on Instagram wondering where she was. And I did do an update on her when she passed. So this pasture goes all the way down here, and there's a bunch of shade trees. Again, I'm going to try and keep in as much as I can in this video. Now, even without that mountain and it being fenced off, we have 15 acres. That was never included in our 15 acres. It was just what our neighbor decided we could borrow. So where that fire is, that's where our fence line ends in this pasture. Again, I'm not sure how far I'm going to ride her down one-handed by a fire. Depends on how she acts. So, fence line goes across the road, or excuse me, along the road here. The grass is starting to really sprout up out here. So, once they get done with my grandma's yard, they'll be coming out here. That's okay, good girl. That's okay. Lots of shade trees. I'm not sure how she's going to handle the fire. Alright, so, good. Right where this big tree is that's standing is where our fence line ends, right here at this corner. So that's as far as this pasture goes. And then, right there where those what rocks are in between all that wood, that's where the fence line ends right there. That's about as close as I'm going to get her to that fire. If I had both hands, I might try to go all the way up to the fence line, but I don't. See how she's kind of keeping her eye on it? That's fine. So you can see the fence line goes down right here, and this whole big field. This is where, if you guys want to see a really fun video that was not fun for me, and there's a lot of gopher holes out here too, and ground squirrel holes. If you guys want to see a really fun, energetic video that was not the best video for me, look up Never Again on my YouTube channel. And that was the very, very first time 2 years ago that I turned Kamani out in this pasture with a client's horse before this mountain was fenced off. Now, we can do a little bit of running because I know most of the ground out here, but she sees a barrel with some wire on it on my neighbor's side of the fence. It's fine. I'm just going to kind of love on her a little bit. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, we're good. I promise. You're good, sweetheart. You know, you just got closer to a fire, and I think the fire was scarier. Come on, it's okay. Ooh, it's okay. You're all right. Good girl. You're good. Easy there, sweetheart. I'm going to make her kind of look at it and make her side pass if I can. Go side. Good. There you go. There you go. Since she kind of wants to dance, I'll have her side pass and look at it. Good. So, that's all my neighbor's property. And he has horses that'll be turned out here too. So the girls will be able to socialize with some other horses over the fence. And this is the fence that is brand new. And he said he was putting barbed wire. This isn't actually barbed wire, so maybe he changed his mind at the last second. That's fine. As long as my two don't tear through it, I don't care. My two are pretty destructive. So, this is a big field. One of them. And I'm kind of happy this mountain's fenced off because with all the downed trees, there's a lot of big holes, and I didn't really want to have to chase the girls through that. So, and we have a lot of small catch pins attached to all of our pastures. That's just how my grandpa built it, and thankfully he did, because my two have been pretty hard to catch in the yard lately. So, I'm going to go down through here. The fence line goes right here. And right here is where the pony's pasture ends. It's hard to see, but there is a fence there. Good girls. Good girl. So this is a little catch pen. And I have some wood over there to pick up. This barn's falling apart. There's some wood falling. I got some of that to pick up. Slow down a little bit. She's getting a little hyper. So right here where all this green grass is actually a little pond. And it's hard to see. Oh, she's anxious to go. It's hard to see, but there is water in there. And there's constantly water in there. There's a little stream that runs into there. So if I ever need to put them in the catch pen, there is water in here. Now in the other field behind us that we just went through, there is not. So I would open up the pasture that we came out of and allow them to have water through there. Again, she hasn't been ridden in a while, so she's a little anxious to go. Now, they just cut this tree down. It was on top of our fence, and that's why she's spooking a little bit. It's all right. But there's some wood down that I got to pick up that fell off that barn. Now, honey, you just watched this get cut down. You're okay. So they're in that yard right now, grazing. Come on, it's just a tree. Allow her to look at it if she wants to. Good girl. Good girl. No, turn and look at it. No, turn and look at it. There you go. It's not going to eat you. Okay. So you come through this little pasture here. There's a gate. Again, it's a catch pen. Now the hill that we're going to go up, this goes up right there. And then this is a big pond. Now, I don't know if it's sinking sand or not. I have been told that it is by my grandparents. And I won't test it. Some people tell me it is. Some people tell me it's not. Who really knows? But there's water source for them. But I am going to still lay out another water source because that looks kind of gross to me. And I want them to have the option rather than forcing them to drink something like that. As you can see, this is all weeds last year. And a big wood pile here. We had some people come in and cut some trees down, and they were supposed to come back and clean up all the mess, and they didn't. So probably this fall or this winter we'll have some burn piles when it's a little bit safer to do so. So this is all the pond right here up against that mountain. Right here is an old feeder that we literally we turn our horses out here, and if they needed salt blocks or some extra hay or grain or something, we had this whole area, which she's a little nervous to go into. It's okay. It's okay, come with me. So I'm not going to make her go in with one hand, but that's a whole feeder there that my grandpa built. This is the back side of the girls' pasture right here, and the ponies. Hey, Avalon. So all this is stuff somebody was supposed to clean up and never did. These are some weeds that kind of lived through the spray. That's fine. They will get sprayed again this year. And then so I don't have to get off and open the gate, you guys will get to see the entire pasture for the girls right here. So it just goes down right there to those water troughs. And that's the wood fence that they chewed off, so I had to put a panel there. Okay, as we walk down here, more wood that somebody didn't clean up. Now these trees right here are apple trees, so the girls are going to have a blast with that. And I think we're going to go up this road, and we're going to run up it. And then we'll go down to the back right there. That way she has a little bit of a cool out. So, now this part here, I've thought about getting some posts and putting a little wire. I can't block it completely because this is an access road up to a cemetery that we have, which we're not going to go all the way up there because it's not our cemetery. It's just a cemetery we have out here, and it's not on our land. But here's what worries me a little bit with my two is that's a cattle guard. And then I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through here. I might have to hop off her and get my keys and open the gate because of this tree right here. But that's down, that is our land too. So that cattle guard does scare me a little bit. Our horses never got caught in it, but you never know. All right, this is the side of the mountain that we're going to climb, and we're going to get into a canter and let's get up this hill. So that cattle guard there leads to the cemetery, and this is where our property line ends. And we just had some people cut some trees up here. Now this fence, this part of the hill is where they fenced off. We used to have access to it. Again, they took it back. So what I'm going to have to do so that they don't jump this barbed wire here and get hurt is I'm going to have to bring a post and put a post in here and bring this fence up, or they're just going to go right over the top of this fence and get on his property, and this is barbed wire, and we don't really want that. So I do have some fence to fix right here. I think it's good right there, so if I just put a couple posts in all the way to the cattle guard, I think we should be fine. I am going to get another rope and tie it across where that cattle guard is, just because that one doesn't look very stable. So let's go up our mountain right here. You guys see this whole thing? It's all ours. It's mostly weed. There is some good grass through in between the weeds though. And we're going to go to the top of the world is what I call it. Now for this, I let her kind of pick her own pace. But I kind of want her up against the fence line so you guys can kind of see the fence line. And also because they were just cutting trees, so I kind of want to check and see if they put posts in or if I have to. Because they had a few posts with them, so they might have already done it. Come on. Alright, so right here is where a tree was. I'm going to have to add another post, straighten that up a little bit. Luckily, I got a while before I had to do all this. Easy there, lady. There's another where a tree was. Gonna have to put another post there. Good girl. She says it's a lot of work climbing this mountain. It's not a very easy mountain to climb. It's very steep. It's very hard to tell on video. But this mountain is extremely steep. My mom and I have walked it. I'm gonna ask her to kind of move over here a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna let her take the easy route up this way. It's not as straight up. She does know how to neck rein, but she's just not paying attention today. That's fine. She's a baby. So the fence line goes up that way. It's a good workout for a good baby. You guys will see here in a second why we call it on top of the world. Or at least I do. Because we're still going up. So there's the fence line again. We're at the top, almost. And here we are. Come on, you gotta turn a little bit. So if you guys see that post right there with the yellow on it, that's where this ends. And it goes straight downhill, which I'll show you when we get to the bottom, because I don't really like to overlook that on a young horse. Cool. But here is we're on top of our property. We're on top of the world. So, I'm going to let her catch her breath for a few minutes, and then I'm going to ride her down, and I'll meet you guys back when we get to the bottom of the road. Alright, so I can't find the key to my gate, and I'm not crawling under the tree with a horse. So we were just up top there, and I grabbed her halter off the trailer, and she was a little squirrely, jumping around, so we spent a few minutes on that. But I'm going to tie her to our gate here, and I'm sure if they want to plow through that tree, they can, but I don't feel like getting scratched up from a tree. So I'm going to tie her here and walk you guys down this pasture. And where I told you up top where that sign was, that the fence line came down there, it comes down this mountain, which is really steep, which I don't want to ride down. She was a pain to ride down the other mountain that I just took you guys up, which is why I didn't film coming down, because she likes to try to run, and it's very frightening coming down a steep hill with the horses trying to full out canter. So we worked on going slow. Alright, she's got a halter on, so she's not tied by the bit, and then the reins are up here, so I don't have to worry about her legs getting through them. And I climbed through the fence, so you just go under that tree and come right here. And a lot of the horses will graze up here we had. This is an apple tree. But I don't like to ride that. That's too steep for me. And this is also where we had a bear attack one of our horses. Probably 10 years ago. So that was a long time ago. But where we were just at, it comes down the fence line, and we'll get there in a second. I'm on my foot now, on my feet. So we'll walk down the road and come back the other side of the pasture. And she should be good. I trust her to be tied. She's just rattling the panel, itching on it. So they do go up this mountain, and if they're up that mountain, I typically won't chase them. That's very steep. So you just walk down this road here, and it's a private, it's a private road. It doesn't lead anywhere except through the pasture. And then this is a good pasture for horses who are terrified of trains, because the fence is like 20 feet from the train tracks. You guys will get to see that. Some nice good grass starting here, but we still have some weeds. So this is where they really love to graze, on this part. My girls are going to love this summer. Again, for anybody worried about the weeds, I'm going to have the guy out in fall and have him spray again. It'll be probably early fall this year. I did it late fall last year, and might pull them off when the grass is almost gone and do it a little bit earlier this year to try to get rid of all this. Some good grass right there. And go under this tree. And this is where the horses get a lot of scratched backs and legs, because they don't care what they're going through, they just want the grass. So if you guys see that post right there, that is where the fence line ends. It goes right there to that corner. And right here, I'm not going to walk all the way down there, but you guys can see right there. And that's where the fence line comes down the mountain from clear up there. And walk down this. There used to be some holes through here, but it's been a couple years, so I think they kind of filled in. All the rain and mud and everything. I gotta check this pasture fence anyways, so now we're just walking back up it. Again, it just goes right there to that post. And this fence has never really needed repairs. I'm not sure why. I think it's maybe because the horses don't spend a lot of time back here, because it's not a huge area. It literally takes them like a week or two to clear it out. And a lot of bears will hide between these trees, and this is why we don't like lock them back here. They can leave if they need to. There's no water source back here. This pasture connects to the pond. I just showed you guys all that. So one is because a lot of the predators hide back here. It's nice and quiet. No one comes back here hardly ever. And two, no water source. Now, my grandma says I don't need to put a water source out because of the pond. I'm still going to. Again, I want them to have a freshwater option. So yeah, this fence goes across to my neighbors. And look at how high this stuff is. It's almost to my knees. And the stuff in our yard right now is ankle. So by the time I get this stuff in the yard cleaned up, this stuff will be up past my knees and they're going to be in heaven. And I'm going to buy like 4 sulfur blocks, because sulfur blocks keep the ticks off. When you have tall grass like this, you're going to get ticks. This is my neighbor's stuff. Not sure why it's on this side of the fence. It always has been. Not a big deal. But yeah, that's the mountain that we were just on top of. And I just got stabbed by a stick. It is warm today. It's like 77. I might give Kamani and Apple on their first bath of the year today. So yeah, that is our property, you guys. Thank you so much for 200 subscribers. Now we got to get to 300. And the barn tours will be soon. I go back to work in a day, so it'll be a while again, but hopefully not as long this time. Anyways, yeah, they got 3 apple trees in their pasture. 4 if you include the one in the other pasture where the new fence is. But that's only halfway on our side now, which is why I didn't count it. And yeah, they don't have to go through this tree to get through here. They can go up around it on the mountain right here. They don't even have to go back here if they don't want to. But yeah, Kamani and I say have a great day, and we'll see you guys in the next one.